Alors, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Bienvenue dans notre appel hebdomadaire pour Lioness Empire. Today we have a special guest, a dear friend of mine and Damien. And he's always been very generous with everything that he's sharing with us. And for some of you that had the opportunity to have him on calls, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you got your Kleenex close, but you might want to go get a box of Kleenex. But it's for good tears. It's for good tears. No, I'm joking, but not at the same time, because you know when someone just speaks to your heart and you feel like they're really understanding how you might feel right now or where you've been. It feels great to feel understood, and it also feels it's really inspiring to just listen to him and give us some pieces of wisdom. And so I'm super excited about the call today. So let me tell you a bit about Brad. Like I said, he's a friend of ours. He is a husband, married to his beautiful wife, a dog dad. He's a mindset coach, an inspirational speaker, and you'll get to see that today. He is the host of Path to the Mindset Mastery podcast, if you want to tune into that. And he's a creator of the Appreciation Academy. And today's topic will be the path to mindset mastery. And I know you guys know that about me, and it's probably one of the reasons why me and Brad connect so much, and it's so easy to be together. We're like on the same energy level, I feel. I've always talked about mindset being the most important thing to master. I talked about it doesn't matter all the hows and the what and the why, if you're not feeling inside of you that you're deserving of a better life and you can allow yourself to become successful, be the person that you've always dreamt of becoming when you were a little girl or a little boy, and you allowed yourself to dream big and you believe in yourself, then you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to get stuck. I feel like we were just having a chat, Damien and I, about a podcast with the School of Greatness with Robin Sharma, and he was talking about, freeing yourself, that sometimes some people are in jail and they're able to create freedom in their life, and some people are free walking around and they create a jail for themselves, and they're creating really like they're putting limits on their potential. So I'm going to stop talking now and I'm going to leave it to you. I'm going to unmute you, and please take it away, my friend. Thank you for being here.
All righty. Can you guys hear me? Is my voice coming through?
All good.
Awesome. What is going on, everyone? Team Lion, right? That's the name of the team. Is that correct, Emily?
We changed to Lioness Empire. We made it more feminine.
I love it. Lioness Empire. That is badass. But thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here today. I do not take this opportunity lightly. And here's my promise to you. Over this next hour, I will not betray your trust. This time that we have here today, we can't get that time back. Once it's used, it's gone. So my promise to you is that this hour is going to be so packed with value to help you master this thing, to master that thing that's going on between your ears, to help you overcome the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, and the secret obstacles that you don't even realize sometimes are going on up here that stop you from achieving incredible things in your life and your business. So before we start, silence the phones, put the Instagram stories away for a little bit, put the kids in a closet, whatever you have to do. Just be fully present here, and I promise it's going to be packed with value. So let's start with some participation. In the chat box, what is a really big goal you have for 2019? Type that goal into the chat box. What's a really big goal you have for 2019? And as you're typing that goal in, realize something. There is a recipe to making it happen, just like baking a cake, right? There's a way that you can do it. In fact, you have a few of the best leaders in the entire company teaching you how to do that, right? The leadership award winner, someone that knows her way to make these things happen. You know that, right? You know how to do your basic business building activities. And if you don't know, you can Google it, you can figure it out. It's in Coach Basics. So you might know that. But something you might miss is how you go about using your ingredients in your recipe matters. So what does that mean? That means that you could invite 1 billion people, but if your mindset is off, you're actually going to repel them. You could set the biggest goal for yourself and think it's absolutely huge. But if your mindset is off and your mindset is down, it's actually going to be a goal set in fear instead of who you want to become. You could have the best training for your team, but if your mindset's off, they're going to feel like you're forcing them to work. In fact, how many of you feel, raise your hand if you feel like sometimes you have to force things in your business. You're forcing your social media posts, or you're forcing your invites in some way. If that's you, you're going to learn why that is on this call. You can put hours and hours and hours into a support group for your clients, but if your mindset is down, they're not going to feel like you're actually trying to help them. So what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset, is by far and above the most important piece out of all of this. And you've heard that before. You've heard that mindset is important. You've heard change your thinking, change your life. You've heard it. But today we're going to talk about how to think in a positive way when you don't want to. How many of you have ever been pissed off and you want to stay pissed off? Or you've been depressed and you want to stay depressed? Even though you know it's not constructive for your business or your life, you want to stay there, even though it's not empowering. We're going to learn how to break through that today so you can crush your goals and break out of that faster than ever before. So, where does negative self-talk come from? Where do limiting beliefs come from? I'm going to show you with a couple stories in my life where mine came from, and then we're going to turn them into an amazing tool for success and for happiness. So the reason I share these with you is just to give you some background about where my biggest limiting beliefs of money equals pain and I'm not enough came from. And you might have totally different beliefs. Yes, childhood, 100%, Emily. That's where they come from. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood. And it gave me really screwed up beliefs about how life is. And I'm curious, type yes if you can relate to the topic of money stress at any point in your life, whether past or present. Money stress, whether past or present. That's something that I faced for a very long time. So I remember growing up, my parents would always fight about money. Every single day, no exaggeration, every day. There was always a limitation, some form of why did you spend that money? Some form of you spent how much on what? And I remember witnessing screaming matches between my parents, and I never understood why. And I remember one time I was probably 10 years old, and my parents were having another fight about why the bank account was overdrawn. And I remember going up to my mom as a little kid and being like, Mom, why do you guys always have to fight about stupid money? And in that moment, she comes over and she goes, shut the fuck up, go to your room. I don't need you around me right now. I don't need the opinion of a punk kid. Excuse my language, but that's just how it was in my household growing up. It was that type of language every single day. And my dad comes over with a soap dispenser and starts pouring soap on my mom's head and down her back and on her neck. And it was terrifying. I thought that there was going to be a physical fight. I didn't know what was going on. Luckily, that never happened. But I remember thinking to myself, did money cause this? Is it because of money that they're fighting? And so I linked up in my mind that money meant pain, that you can't have money, that you have to work your ass off your entire life to barely get by. That's what I linked up in my head. And so you can imagine when I started my Beachbody business, by the way, for some background, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. I built a 5-star diamond business, love Beachbody with all my heart. And the only reason I'm not doing it is because this is what I am meant to do with my life. And it's a conflict of interest. Otherwise, I'd still be doing it. So my point in this is when I started my Beachbody business 6 years ago, you can imagine I have this big goal of hitting 15-star and Million Club and all these amazing things. But money is bad and money equals pain. Do you see the disconnect? Do you see how that could cause some problems? In fact, I believe money was so bad that it took me 6 years to propose to my wife. It took me 6 years to propose to her because I thought that if we had money when we got married, it would rip us apart. And so you pair that with them eventually getting divorced because of money, never having a peaceful Christmas or birthday because of money and all that stuff. I believed that money was something you should not have. And on top of the money, I had a very tough relationship with my mom. How many of you, type yes if you can relate to a tough or turbulent relationship with a family member in some way, shape, or form at any point in your life, whether past or present? So that's something that I faced as well. I had a horribly tough relationship with my mom. And I love my mom. She's a very good person, and I've forgiven her for all the pain of my past. It's taken me a while to do that, but I did. And I invested thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours into personal growth to figure out how to get there. And I didn't realize that the way that she was in that time was the best thing that ever happened to me. The best, because it created me. And it wasn't until I switched the meaning of what she did from she's the reason I'm so stuck to she's the best thing that ever happened to me that my life changed. And my reason for bringing this up is because I have this one memory with my mom when I was a little kid, and it happened over and over and over again. I remember coming in the door from school, and she'd be smoking a cigarette, playing a game on the computer, the equivalent of Farmville back in the 90s, whatever that is. And she was playing a computer game. And you know how if things are painful, even though there were good times, it's overshadowed by the pain? Like you just don't even, it's like a muscle contracting, you're afraid to let go again and open up. And so when I was a kid, sometimes it was a, hey sweetie, how's your day? When I got home from school, but most of the time it was a, why are you talking to me? Most of the time it was a, shut up and go away. Most of the time it was a, I don't need you right now. Most of the time it was, I can't handle you right now. I don't need the opinion of a punk kid. Then I can go on and on and on. That happened regularly, and it still happens to this day. And so I have to continue to forgive her. And anyways, my point in bringing that up is because I remember thinking to myself, why am I not enough for her? Why aren't I worthy? How many of you, raise your hand if you don't feel worthy in some way of a goal or a dream, or that you're not enough in some way for a goal or a dream? Unless you've conditioned that out of who you are, it's going to hold you back in so many ways. And so you can imagine when I went after my big goals of being a successful Beachbody coach, but I'm not enough, do you see the disconnect there? So you might have a totally different story, and that's okay. But where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened years ago that you haven't chosen a more empowering meaning for yet, or you haven't forgiven yet? Because when you're little, just like Emily said, in your childhood, you are incredibly impressionable. And it doesn't even need to be in your childhood. It can be in your adult life, something traumatic that happened. But it's in those times that your beliefs about yourself and your abilities start to take shape. So when I started my business 6 years ago, it didn't matter if I sent out 200 invites or 5. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if I put up a social media post every single day or not. It didn't matter if I created new trainings for my team. I always felt like I was forcing my business to grow. And I was sitting there going, you have all the tools you need to make this happen. Why aren't you doing it? And I had to figure out how to fix that. I had to figure out how to change my life. And I went on a journey of doing it, pouring tens of thousands of dollars into conferences and courses to figure this out, and hundreds of hours into personal growth and all this stuff to figure out what was going on up here. And I mastered it. I absolutely mastered it. And it led me to the creation of my Course Appreciation Academy that Emily mentioned. I'll talk to you guys about that at the end. That program is how I changed my whole life. So why I tell you this is because when I tried to build a business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk, the lack of belief, and the secret obstacles that I didn't even realize were going on up here stopped me in my tracks. So we don't have the time today to go over the entire system of how to overcome that. But if you take this call really seriously, you're going to learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. So number 1, write this down. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. The first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that a million times. You've heard change your thinking, change your life. You've heard if you want a different life, you've got to do something differently. You've heard that before. But I'm talking about rewiring the way you naturally think, making it your default setting to be happy. Now, has anyone ever taught you how to do that? Like, that's the challenge that a lot of people face. How the hell do you do that? That's what I'm going to teach you today. So you start to tell yourself disempowering stories, right? If you say money is bad enough times, what happens? You believe it. If you say building a team is hard enough times, what happens? You believe it. If you say I'm so stuck in my business enough times, what happens? You stay stuck, don't you? If you say it's so much easier for Emily, she's the leadership award winner, she's won 15 million team cups, and you say that enough times, and you start to believe that you can't do it. And so my point is that when you say something enough times, you start to believe it. Have you ever been at a party over the years, and to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate the details of a story so your friends laugh more? You know what I'm talking about? I've done that so many times in my life. And so you get more laughter. So the next time you guys are all together again, you exaggerate that story even more, only with more conviction. And now it's 5 years into the future. You don't even know what part of that story is bullshit or not. You know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy? You have no idea because you've said it enough times that you actually believe it. The same thing happens with negative self-talk. Only instead of it being something fun, like a party topic, it sabotages your whole life, every part of your life. And you go through life believing this BS. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way you lead your life in your business, if you feel like you're forcing things all the time, or a lot of you guys are leaders and you have teammates that you just can't seem to get to move, that comes down to your thoughts. Your thoughts. And you have no idea how to fix it, right? You keep hitting Success Club, you keep finding these people that will, but for some reason you just feel stuck in some way. And for some of you, that's not the case. For some of you guys, you're crushing it, but you know people that you can help them with this mindset, right? You know people that are struggling with this. So that have the same growth, that they're stuck in the same spot. Their paychecks are the same or less than they deserve, whatever it is. To change this, guys, you have to believe that you are enough before the evidence of your business says that you're enough. It's so important to understand that you have to believe you're worthy of greatness before great things will ever happen. You have to believe that you're enough to hit that 1 million club mark or to impact 10,000 coaches before that is ever going to happen. And so my point in this is that it's really hard to believe that when the evidence of your business is saying that you can't do it, when you're not there yet. So how do you change this? You change it by changing your questions. Write this down. Better questions change your entire life. Better questions change your entire life. They'll explode your business. They'll eliminate negative self-talk in a second. If you've ever faced a point in your life, like how many of you can relate to this, where you set a really big goal and maybe you do a vision board and you're looking at that goal or that vision board and you're going, that would be so amazing. It would change my entire life. Everything would change if I achieved that goal. But there's that little voice back here that goes, nah, you're never going to do it. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like the second you write that goal down, you already know it's not going to happen. You know what I'm talking about? Or am I crazy? So that happens for a lot of us when we set goals. And the reality is because most of you don't actually believe that you can hit your goals. That's just the truth. Most of you don't actually believe that you can do it. And you can change this by changing your questions, right? So we can't break through all of that in 1 hour, but here's a start. What is thinking? What is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. It's you going 1,000,000 miles an hour in your head asking yourself questions. That's all thinking is. So if you ask yourself bad questions, you get really bad answers. If you ask yourself great questions, you get really great answers. Examples of bad questions. Why am I stuck? Why am I so fat? Why am I not pretty enough? Why am I not enough? Why am I so broke? Why can't I do this? Why is it so much easier for Emily or Genevieve? Why can't I do this? Those are bad questions, right? And they hold you back in some way and they keep you stuck and you don't know why. And if you ask them enough times, it takes over, right? But if you ask yourself great questions, you get really, really great answers. That would be an example of that would be, why can't I do this? Why am I more than enough? Why am I worthy? And if you ask great questions regularly, you get great answers. I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And here's the thing. Yes, you do. You absolutely do need to hit Success Club. But there comes a point where you're doing it all the time and your business still isn't growing. So let me give you an example right now to show you what I mean in real life by whatever you look for, you find. Look around the room that you're in right now and count the number of things that you can find that are red. Ready, go. Count the number of things that are red. Look for red, 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 look for red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. How many things can you find that are red? Look for red, look for red, look for red. If you have red hair, that counts too. Look for red, 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 look for red. Cool. Hold up. How many things did you find? 10, 4, 3, how many? How many did you find? 4, 6, 9, 14. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. How many things did you find that were blue? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for blue. But check this out. Look around the room you're in right now for everything you can find that's blue. Ready, go. Look for blue, 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 look for blue. Yes, this pen, Genevieve, can count as blue. Look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for all that beach body blue, look for 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 blue. How many more things did you find that were blue? A ton, 20? One more? Amazing. How many things, guys? It doesn't matter. The point is that when you look for red, you don't even notice blue. And when you look for blue, you don't even notice red. Does that make sense? How many of you even looked for green or saw green and pretended it was blue just so you'd feel successful with this exercise? How many of you did that? So how does this relate to your business? When you focus on what you don't want, meaning, why am I not enough? Why am I so fat? Why am I so broke? those negative questions, those are the seeds of doubt and skepticism and pain. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds. Jim Rohn, how many of you guys know who Jim Rohn is? He has an amazing thing that says, stand guard at the gates of your mind or weeds will grow automatically. What does that mean? That means that unless you program your mind to find blue, it will automatically find red. Automatically. Why? Because your brain has no interest in making you happy. Your brain doesn't care if you're happy. Your brain's only job is to make you survive. That's it. So at any moment in time, it's looking for what to protect you from. So you won't set a big goal of 5-star elite or 10-star elite or 15-star elite, top 10, whatever it is. You'll go, I'm going to hit diamond this year. That's what you'll focus on, right? Because your brain's going, whoa, a bigger goal might mean pain. A bigger goal might mean that I'll get rejected. And so your brain's going, set a safe goal. Be realistic, because it's trying to protect you from pain. Does that make sense? Why is that? Millions of years ago, you weren't worried about building a business. We were worried about the saber-toothed tiger that was hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your baby. That's what you were worried about. You were worried about the ice age. You were worried about how you were going to eat, how you were going to survive. So we haven't evolved much, so you have a survival mechanism up here. Does that make sense? So unless you program your mind to look for blue, it is automatically going to find red. So if you're ever like an ass to yourself on a regular basis and you're mean to yourself on a regular basis, it's just your brain doing its job. That's it. It's just your brain doing its job. You just need to learn how to rewire it. That's what we're going to cover right now. So try this. Ask yourself this question. Why am I not enough to build my business? What happens? Ugh, right? Why am I not enough to build my business? What happens? Unless you've conditioned your mind and practiced looking for blue regularly, you'll find out why it's hard. How motivated do you feel when you focus on that? You do not feel motivated at all. And even when you read positive thinking, yes, I'm reading Girl Wash Your Face right now. Even when you read positive thinking, self-help books, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head that says you're not enough. I shared what my limiting beliefs were. Why is money so hard to make? And why am I not enough a minute ago? But how many of you have ever felt this way? Type yes if this is you. Why isn't my team growing? Has that ever crossed your mind in the last couple of years? Or why can't I get it right? Or why don't people want to join me? Or how come I always mess it up? Or why is it so hard to lose weight? Or why does it seem so much easier for other people? Or how come these trainings aren't working? Or how come I'm not pretty enough? Or how come I'm too fat? Or why can't I do anything right? Or will I always be this stuck? Will I always be this stuck? Or why is it so hard to find workers? Like those questions, those are limiting beliefs. It does not feel very good to ask yourself that, right? It does not feel good. And let me guess, it leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination, and there you are looking at your life so frustrated with the results you're getting, and no matter how much someone tells you you can do this, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head that says, no, you can't. So how do we change this? With better questions. When you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true. Like I said, a lot of you don't believe you can achieve your goals. That's why you don't go after them. Right? So your dominant beliefs will determine if that goal comes true. And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. And the gap in the middle between where you are and where you want to be is what you're looking for. Have you ever noticed that when you start looking for what you want, it becomes incredibly easy to find? Like, have you ever been in the market for a car, and the second you decide what make and model you want to drive, you see that car everywhere, every stoplight, every street corner? Why? Because you start looking for it. So until the language in your mind is consistently empowering and blue, you're going to find it very, 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 very hard to get to your goals. And I know this because I lived it for years. So let's use the disempowering question of, why isn't my team growing? When you ask yourself that disgusting question, what happens? Notice how, try it right now. Why isn't my team growing? What happens? Do you notice you look for an answer? You look. You don't need to find it, but you look for an answer. And even if you're successful, unless you've truly programmed blue into your mind, you'll find an answer. That's how insidious negative self-talk is. Something you need to understand is that your entire life can be changed by asking more empowering questions. Your brain is just like Google. It's a Google search engine. it will answer whatever the hell you type into that search bar. And unless you type in something blue, it will automatically find something red. It will automatically type in something red because that's how we're wired. So what if you intentionally type in blue? What if you intentionally type in an empowering question that will lead you towards a better life? When you say, why is it so hard to build my team? What does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why it's so hard to build this thing. That's what you focus on. So you never find the answer to your challenges. When you sit down to work, your brain is looking for every reason why you can't do this. So you don't send the invites, you scroll Facebook. You don't support your clients, you wonder why more aren't coming to you. You don't support and serve your coaches in your downline. You force them to do their vital behaviors. And here's what's crazy. There are amazing business builders and clients and blue all around you every single second of every day. But because you're focused on red, you won't even see blue. You won't even notice that mom that's sitting on the bench outside right now that has high blood pressure, that you could literally save her life with Shakeology. You won't even notice her. You won't even notice the people that live next door that have no freaking clue how they're gonna pay for their kids' college education, and you have their freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice them because you're too focused on red. So let's change it up and try an empowering question. Ask yourself this: why is it so easy to crush my goals this year? How do you feel? Do you feel something different from that question? Why is it so easy to crush my goals this year? Or why is it so easy to build my team? What happens? You still look for an answer. And even if you're brand new, you find all the reasons why you can do this. If you say, why is it so easy to hit emerald by tomorrow? What happens? Instead of, I really wish I could be emerald by the end of April, you go, why is it so easy to hit emerald by tomorrow? What happens? You go, oh, it's only 2 people. I'll ask Emily and I'll ask Damien next door. I'm sure they'll sign up. They want to do this. I know they want to get healthy. You'll find a solution. You look for the opportunities, the people you can reach out to, the sacrifices you can make to build your business. Can you imagine if you fill your mind with just this one step of my program every single day? And by the way, this doesn't even have to be with rank. This can be with your marriage. This can be with your bank account, your finances. This can be with your parenting, anything. Better questions change your entire life. It takes you to the next level, whether you're already successful or you're figuring out how to become successful. It will take you to whatever the next level is. And here's the key. You don't even need to have the answer to whatever you ask. You just need to live in a blue question that leads you to a better life. Because understand something, the how is going to reveal itself. I can guarantee you when Emily enrolled as a coach, she had no idea how she was going to build this thing to where it is now. No idea. It was just an idea in her mind. It was that'd be cool. And so all she did was she focused on what she wanted, and the how showed up. The how showed up. Always remember that. You don't need to know how. You need to know why. You need to know where you want to go. The how will show up for you. So write this down. Every problem you face is just a blue question you haven't asked yourself yet. That's it. Every problem you face is a blue question you haven't asked yourself yet. So for your life and for your business, after we get off of here in half an hour, you're going to write down all the negative stuff you ask yourself on a regular basis. Why am I so broke? Why is my business not growing? Why am I stuck? Why am I so fat? Why does my husband always annoy me? Whatever the thing is that's disempowering, write down any disempowering question and you're for all parts of life, and you're going to flip it to its empowering alternative. You're going to turn that into, why is it so easy to blank? Why is it so easy to achieve my goals? It's not, why is it so easy to not be fat anymore? That's not an empowering question. That's still focused on what you don't want. It's why is it so easy to live a healthy lifestyle? It's why is it so easy to insert dream? That's what it is. Why am I so wealthy? Why is my business booming? Why is it so easy to lead my team? Why is it so easy to find hard workers? Why can't I do this? Why am I more than enough? Why am I a great leader? 2 questions, guys, changed my entire life. Number 1, why am I so kind to myself every day? Why am I so kind to myself every day? And number 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Those questions changed my entire world. Because guys, life gets 100% easier if you are 1% nicer to yourself. 100% easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these new empowering questions and you're going to put them on Post-it notes all over your house. You're literally going to flood your mind with blue. You're going to flood it with blue. And the reason you're going to do that, why is it so easy to live in Turks and Caicos? I love that. The reason you're going to do that is because when you look for blue, you can't even find red. You can't even find it. You won't even notice it, right? So don't even give your mind a chance to find red. Flood it with questions. And guys, my wife probably thought I was crazy. I recorded my empowering questions with passion and energy on my phone, and I listened to them while I walked the dog. I listened to them while I showered. I listened to them while I was on the toilet. I listened to them while I was doing the dishes. Any opportunity I got, I listened to my empowering questions because I didn't want to give red a fighting chance because I knew my brain would automatically look for it if I didn't go for it, if I didn't reprogram it. Can you imagine if you're having a challenging relationship with your husband right now? Can you imagine if on your car dashboard, you had the words, "Why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse today?" written on a Post-it note? How would you walk in the door differently? Would you walk in and wallow about things that are going on, or would you walk in and be so excited and so happy and so passionate to see him? It would change your entire relationship. Or how many of you are parents? Raise your hand if you have kids. Do you have kids? Raise your hand if you have kids. Okay. If you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before they get home from school that said, "Why is it so easy to be such a loving mother today?" How would their life change forever from one question? How would their confidence change forever from one question? Better questions change your life, guys. It rewires your mind. Your life will change if you do this. It's not a matter of if. This is a guarantee. It will change if you do this. It's a promise. You're rewiring what you look for. Is this one mindset strategy helpful for you guys? Think you can use this in your business, in your life, whether you're already successful or just starting out. You can take it to the next level, or you can just get started, whatever it is. This will help you. So I have 2 more for you guys. Number 2, write this down. Your problem is not the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? That means when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually make that goal harder to achieve. Now, what does that mean? Don't take that to mean that you shouldn't be passionate and excited. You absolutely should get your hopes up. You absolutely should be super pumped and super passionate and play all out toward your goals, 100%. But what I mean is, when your happiness is dependent on a goal, you're making that goal almost impossible to achieve. And if you do achieve it just magically, you're not even going to be fulfilled. This is hollow success. This is where you get to elite and it feels like nothing. I lived that, guys. It feels like nothing. How many of you find yourself pushing so hard for a goal to come true, working your ass off, but no matter how much you push, it feels like the goal's like evading you, like just getting further and further away, like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and you don't know why. Or even when you achieve, it feels empty. One of the two. Both of those guys, that's because you're attached to your goals. It's because your happiness is dependent on those goals. When you think that way and you come up short or even magically hit the goal, how do you feel if you come up short? Or even if you hit it from that state, you feel horrible. You feel pretty crappy, like your self-worth takes a hit and you're going, all that work for nothing, or I can't do this and I don't know why. And let me guess, negative self-talk over and over and over again. You're spending all this time focusing on the red questions. You don't even notice the beauty around you. When you build a business that way, isn't it just overwhelming and intense and stressful to try to solve that? Like, how do you do it? It feels insurmountable. It feels defeating. You have no idea how to do it. So you start to accept it. When you can learn to see your challenges in your life just as a blue question you got to ask, instead of being responsible for your happiness, the challenges get easier. And huge, important note here. And this is the overarching focus of everything that I teach in my courses and my coaching, everything. This is so important to understand. Business and success will not bring you happiness unless you're already happy. Business and success will not bring you happiness unless you are already happy. Happiness is what will bring you success. And even if you don't mistake success for achievement, by the way. If you achieve and you're not happy, you failed. That's not success. That's total failure. So happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge is how you overcome the challenge. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's one of the main reasons I stayed stuck for years. You don't need to find the answer because the journey you're on is the answer. Where you are right now, when you view where you are right now as wrong, like I should be somewhere else, when you use I should be somewhere else, or I should be further along, or I should be at a certain weight, you are literally pushing away the lesson life is trying to teach you. You're closing off to the lesson that's going to get you to the next level. You are exactly where you should be. That is why Shaun T always says, you have to love your body where it is now if you ever want to create that better body. You need to love where you are now because that's all you've got. So it is not wrong to be where you are. You are exactly where you need to be. So write this down. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And that doesn't just mean the amazing, successful things in your life. I mean the challenges and the hard stuff too. So you hear the term abundance get thrown around in my industry all the time. What does abundance mean? Abundance just means that you love every part of your life and you're so excited about what's next. That's abundance. What's scarcity? Scarcity is, I don't want to be here in this spot right now. I should be further along, and I never think I'm going to move forward. It's thinking there's not enough, right? Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. That is abundance 101, right? Being grateful for the life that you currently have, including the challenges. So step into the common sense corner for a second. If you are God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, whatever you believe is fine, but just play ball with me here for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, and you have person A and person B down on earth. Person A is the person that focuses on how this is so hard, how they should be at diamond, but because this person said no, they never got there. Or it's so much easier for Emily, it's so much easier for Genevieve, it's so much easier for all these people. I can't do this. It's raining outside. That means traffic's going to be bad today. Oh my gosh, my kids are so annoying. And like all these things, focusing on the challenges of life and how you can't solve the problem. That's person A. And person B is the person that goes, okay, cool, I dropped in rank. What can I learn from this? Or, all right, awesome, I got a divorce. What's next in my life, right? Or, okay, cool, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds. I have no idea how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure it out because I got an awesome coach named Emily. She's gonna take me to the next level. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to hit 5-star. I just signed up yesterday, but I'm gonna learn how to do it. Or, oh my gosh, in the summertime, there's these little bees that fly around and they're like 1/100th of my size. And if you go too close, they'll sting you. Like, they have so much courage. This is so cool. And oh my gosh, it's raining outside. That means that my garden is going to grow. This is just the coolest place ever. I absolutely love this. Even though I'm not at my goals yet, I'm just pumped to be here. And obviously, I'm making shit up, but you get the point, right? Person A, person B. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's complaining about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have, including the challenges? Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And what's awesome about this one skill is that it means you don't have to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. Because instead of slamming down on the gas pedal, trying to get to your destination faster, and your tires are spinning, burning out, and smoke's going everywhere, and you're death gripping that steering wheel, just wishing you'd be there by now, and you see all these other cars flying by you on the highway to success that just seem to have it easier. You realize the only thing that's been wrong this entire time is that your emergency brake is on. That's it. Your emergency brake is on. So to go further faster, you don't need to push down harder. Those people aren't pushing down harder. They just release the brake. That's all that's going on. Follow this metaphor here. Most people try to climb this big mountain of success. Put your goal on top of a mountain for a second, saying, I'll be happy when I get to the top. If that's you, the problem is that it's the same thing as trying to climb a mountain with a blindfold on. You're not going to get there. You're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're going to stumble, you're going to lose your ground, you're going to find it so hard to get back up and running, and you're going to lose the trail. And even if you happen to get to the top magically without killing yourself, you're going to get up there and you're not even going to be able to see the beauty around you. That's hollow success. That's not success. That's failure. So what if you just take the blindfold off? What if you decide today to go on this hike for the experience of hiking, not just the summit? What if you do your vital behaviors for the growth you experience? What if you do your vital behaviors for the person and the leader you become? What if you do it for the climb, and not just the peak? Wouldn't it be more fun? Wouldn't it just be more relaxing? And when you're relaxed and having fun, what happens? People want to be part of your life. They come to you. It becomes magnetic. This is why you see Success Club 40 billion from this woman right here. It's because she's magnetic. Do you, like, guys, nod your head if you can feel Emily's energy. You can feel her, right? It's something you feel in here. It's not something that you have to, it's not a checklist item. You just feel it. You just know it's in your gut. It's because she does this for the client. She has fun with it. She learns from the challenges instead of being dominated by the challenges. And when you live that way, you become magnetic. People want to be part of your life. What if you go on this hike and you appreciate the scenery? You appreciate the wildlife in the distance. And even when the peak's up there, but your mountain, your trail is going downhill away from that mountain, AKA someone quits, or you get a return order, or you drop in rank, or you don't know why this happened, right? Or someone said something crappy, you get some haters on Facebook. If it's going down away from that peak, you realize that it's still a good thing because you're doing it for the growth, not the outcome. You're doing it because you're committed to your goals, not attached to your goals. And when you do that, every single time something that you didn't expect to happen happens, you learn something instead of hate something. Yeah, exactly like that. You appreciate the burn. You appreciate the burn because it's getting you to the next level. So what if you just follow the trail? You just chill and you just be okay and happy either way. It seems like you're taking a step back from success because you're not pushing for it as hard as you can go, but you're actually getting there so much faster because the trail is easier to follow. So become committed to your goals instead of attached. When you operate that way, guys, life just becomes easy. It becomes easy. Guys, for the record, life is not hard. It doesn't have to be hard. It's not. It's easy when you live this way. This is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is it. Abundance 101. It's because it's simple. That's why. So living this way makes success easier. And I can't get into the entire system of how to get to that state where you actually feel that on a day-to-day basis on a 1-hour call. But do you guys have time for one more? I'm pretty sure this last one here is going to change your world. So last one. Number 3, I call this the secret sauce. The secret sauce. You might know it as genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude. And by the way, what do I mean by genuine gratitude? Why do I say genuine? Because what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is complaining about where they're at, saying they should be further along, saying they should be at that next rank. It's a bad day, whatever it is, and then they go write 3 things in a book to make them feel better. That's what most people do. That is not gratitude, by the way. That's not gratitude. That's you rationalizing where you're at, trying to feel better about your life. Gratitude is something you feel in here. It's real. It's deep. Now, I'm going to take you through an experience in about 5 minutes. It's going to make you feel genuine gratitude, real gratitude. But for now, understand that's not actual gratitude unless you actually mean it and feel it when you write it. Does that make sense? So write this down. It is impossible to feel pain when you are grateful. It is impossible to be scared or fearful when you're grateful. It's impossible to be depressed and grateful simultaneously. It is impossible to feel anxious and grateful simultaneously. You literally cannot. It's like trying to be sad and jumping up and down in the mirror naked. It does not work. You can't do them both at the same time. So painful things in your life are going to happen. Something as small as a coach quitting, someone as big as someone in your life passing away. Pain in your life is guaranteed. Suffering from that pain is your choice. It's up to you. It's optional. And gratitude is how you don't suffer anymore. You give yourself a rule of how long you're going to allow yourself to suffer, and you practice gratitude, you get out of it. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But first, we talked about how seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. And I'll show you a feeling of that in a second. But let's have some perspective. You're watching a video about mindset right now from probably Canada, but anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world, UK, US, Canada, wherever you are. And you probably have a cozy blanket on, or you're in an office or at a desk or a bedroom, and you probably have the heat on right now because it's really freaking cold outside. Or maybe you're down south and you have the windows open because it's beautiful outside. Whatever it is, you have that going on. You can probably pull into a parking lot or a parking spot of a company that you work for where you either supplement the income for your family or provide a great income for your family. You could probably take your kids to the doctor to get treated for medical care. You can probably take your dog to the veterinarian to get treated for whatever they have going on. You can probably turn on your Apple TV or Roku or whatever it is, or Netflix tonight, and watch Marie Kondo's Tidying Up show or whatever that thing is. My wife and I did that, by the way. And most of us, we take that for granted. When there's someone that's going to kill themselves in the next 40 seconds, when there's a mother out there who's going to watch her baby starve to death tonight, when there are people out there injecting needles into their arm to cope with pain, when countries still live in communism, when most of the world, 2/3 of the world lives on $2.50 a day, $900 a year. If you are in the bottom 1%, you're in the top 1% of the world. The top 1% of the world. So have some perspective and realize that you're so accustomed to the miracles happening around you every day that you don't even view them as miracles anymore. Most of you view miracles as scarce and don't appreciate how literally everything around you right now was once a thought or an idea. This computer, your cell phone, these markers, once an idea. In fact, this team, these amazing lionesses, this team was once an idea that this incredible woman had. That's all it was. It was an idea. It was a that'd be cool if. That's all it was, which proves that you can create miracles at any second if you really want to. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if that next thing happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up to suffer in life. If you can take away anything from this entire call, anything at all, it's the following sentence. Nothing has to happen for you to be happy. Nothing. And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something else, like a goal or an outcome or what someone says or how you're perceived, you'll never be fulfilled. Even if you have success, you could be winning at life and feel like you're losing. And to quote Tony Robbins, achievement without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. That's it. Achievement without gratitude is total failure. You're breathing. You're alive. That should be enough to smile about. And if you're smiling, business gets easy. Business gets really easy. Not saying you don't have to put positive intentionality behind it. You got to hustle. But I'm saying it's not hard. It's not taxing. A lot of you have these high expectations, right? Of your spouse, your kids, your team, your volume, your sales, whatever it is. And when your life conditions, meaning the way life is right now, doesn't match up with how you think it should be, you get frustrated or depressed or down. You gotta let that go. You gotta let those rules of what needs to happen in order to be happy, you gotta let it go. Gratitude is one of the ways to do that. And not BS gratitude, real gratitude that I'll show you in a second. Because your view of life literally determines your future. So every single day, focus on being grateful, and slowly the anxiety, the overwhelm, the depression, the fear, the negative self-talk, it's gonna go away. You are talking to someone, this is how I know I can help you. In my Beachbody business, I went through a period of time where I knew what I wanted so bad, and I had all the tools to make it happen. But for some reason, I couldn't get myself to do it, and I didn't know why. I just felt so, if I could sum it up, I just felt stuck. And I went through this endless perfection and guilt loop over and over and over again, where I'd have to be perfect, and when I didn't, I felt depressed, and I feel guilty for being depressed. I had to do it perfect again. And then when I didn't succeed, I got depressed and down on myself. I literally would have these 3 or 4 days a week where I'd be wallowing in my sorrows, watching Netflix on TV, having these bad days. My wife and I called them Brad's bad days. And I literally saw my laptop staring at me going, bro, change your life. You have everything you need. But I just didn't care. But at the same time, I cared so much, and I didn't get what was stopping me. And not if this makes sense, I was depressed, but even worse than that, I was pissed off at myself that I was depressed. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could really be. I was pissed off at myself for being stuck and not knowing how to break through. And from practicing what I teach in my course that I'll tell you guys about in about 10 minutes, what I noticed was the periods of depression and anxiety, they started to go away. I didn't notice them as much anymore, and I started to become happy every day. And now my natural default setting is genuine happiness that I don't have to fake anymore. It's real. I think you guys can feel it. It's real. And yes, there are days, once in a blue moon, Or I get the whole woe is me and feel sorry for myself that day. Everyone does, we're human. But I can get out of it in 3 minutes using gratitude. In fact, what I learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins, is that you can solve any problem in your life or your business in 2 or 3 minutes using gratitude. Any problem in your life, or find direction in a challenging time in 2 or 3 minutes. So what I'm going to take you through is an experience, a process I learned from him. I do not take credit for this. This is all him, but it's so powerful that I need to share it with you. So get somewhere where you will allow yourself to feel all the emotions you can feel. Like Emily said, get the tissues. We're about to experience some real feelings. We're about to experience something deep. So if you know that by being on video, you're not going to play all out with this, turn your video off. Put the kids in a different room. Put the phone down. Whatever it is, be fully present here. And I give you my word that this next 5 minutes can impact your life tremendously if you allow it to. So once you're in your spot, think of something in your life right now that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, 7 or higher. Just what's something in your life that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10 at a 7, 8, 9, or 10? Just something where you don't know how to solve it, or it's unfinished business and you just feel stuck and you don't know why. It can be any part of your life. We all have one. We all have something that's causing us some sort of grief in some way. Think of that thing. Raise your hand if you have your thing, just so I know, just so I can see. Do you have your stressor? Raise your hand if you have your stressor. Okay, cool. Close your eyes. And keep them closed for the remainder of this exercise. Keep them closed and I'll tell you when to open them. Take a deep breath in your nose and exhale out your mouth. Take a deep breath in your nose again and exhale out your mouth. And notice how your breath has already calmed your mind. And take both your hands, physically put them on your heart for a moment. Physically put them there and leave them there the remainder of the exercise. And feel your heart beating in your chest right now. As you continue to breathe deep into your heart. Like actually imagine the air flowing into your heart. Big deep breath in, through your heart, back out your mouth. And keep breathing that way. Feel the power of it. Feel the strength of it. Feel the beauty of it. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. You didn't have to buy your heart. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this amazing gift of life the moment you were born. You have inherent worth because this heart is beating in your chest right now. It beats even when you sleep. So take a second and just feel so overwhelmingly grateful that you have this gift of life, that you even can experience these challenges. Take a second and just feel so grateful, so appreciative, so happy that you get to experience that. And now go back from this beautiful state, go back to a memory in your life. What is a memory in your life that you can feel deep feelings of gratitude for? What's that moment for you? Is it when you got married? Is it when you had your first kid? What's that moment for you where you can step back into it feeling so grateful? And instead of seeing it from the outside, step back into that moment like you're there. Relive that memory all over again. See what you saw then, hear what you heard then, feel what you felt then now, like it's happening all over again, right in front of you, feeling so grateful, so alive, so appreciative, and just take that into your heart and cherish that moment and know that this feeling is within you whenever you want. And take that in right now and feel so grateful. And now go to a second memory. What's a second memory in your life? A second moment that you can just feel unbelievably deep feelings of gratitude for? Is it when you won that award? Is it when you said thank you? Is it when you said, I'm sorry? What's that moment for you? That any moment at all. It could be a little moment or a big moment. It could be a sporting moment. It could be a moment of achievement. It doesn't matter. Just any moment for you. That moment where you just know in your heart it's something where you can feel so deeply grateful for. And instead of seeing it from the outside, again, first person, right in front of you all over again, see what you saw then. Feel what you felt then. Breathe the same way you did then. Say exactly what you said back then. Experience it all over again and picture it right in front of you like it's happening right now. And stack that memory on top of your heart for a second. Stack it on top of your heart, feeling so grateful. And now go to a coincidence. What's something in your life that you didn't expect to happen, but it was placed in front of you? Something in your life where God, the universe, whatever you believe in, put it in front of you. And you didn't make it happen. It just happened. You were in line at Starbucks and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant, but now you have an amazing family. You got a message on Facebook and now your entire life has changed. What's that memory for you, that coincidence that led to something beautiful that you value in your life? A career, an insight, a person, whatever it is. Was that a coincidence, or were you being guided the entire time? Was there a reason you went through that? It could even be a problem. It's really beautiful when we realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems are gifts because they lead to a more elevated version of you. They teach you a lesson. They lead to greater growth, greater aliveness. So take a second and feel so grateful for everything that coincidence led to in your life. Something that just you cherish deeply, and feel it in your heart, breathing deep, experiencing it. And now, just like a flash, imagine these memories going in front of you all like quickly, like in the movies. Imagine that first memory flash right in front of you. Now picture that second memory flashing right in front of you, that coincidence flashing right in front of you. Feel the gratitude for your heart beating 100,000 times a day, and let it well up inside you, and try to triple the amount of intensity of gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness for this amazing gift of life, and stack it all on top and triple that intensity and feel it. And now start to let that energy radiate out of you. Like actually imagine the energy is radiating out from your heart in all directions, up, out through your head, out through your arms, down through your legs, calves, feet, all directions. Feeling so grateful, so thankful, so appreciative for this amazing gift of life. And just say thank you. Just say thank you and appreciate that you're here right now, that you can even go through this. Just take that in and just love it for a second. This, by the way, is the real you. This is who you are when you're not dominated by fear. So take that in and feel so grateful that you found her today. And from this beautiful state, not from your head, from your heart, go back to that stressful moment that you totally forgot about. Go back to that stressful moment that you totally forgot about, and just repeat these words in your own mind. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. In this stressful situation, all I need to say is blank. In this situation, all I need to do is blank. Your heart knows the answer, doesn't it? Your heart knows what to do. Your heart knows where to go next. Your heart knows what to say, what to do, what to remember. Open your eyes. Come back on camera. How many of you found something real from that exercise? And if you didn't, by the way, and you still want to suffer, that's okay. There are other strategies. There are other ways to break through this. But try this again when no one else is around. How many of you found something impactful from that last 5 minutes? Something where you know you got an insight into what you need to do. That's the power of gratitude. It is a business tool. It's not just something to feel good every once in a while. It's something real. Because guys, you have one shot at this life, one. And most people go through life trying to stay safe, never really going for it. You are not that person. Your life could change at any moment. You do not control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You are not meant to experience mediocrity. You're meant to feel fully alive every second of every day. And I can actually teach you how to do that. Because right now you're exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn to live the life you're meant to live. Instead of just knowing that, all you have to do to radically change your entire world is make this part of who you are. Learn how to make this your default setting instead of some call you heard sometime that lasted 2 days and then you went back to where you were before. Let this become who you are. Let this be coached into you. And if that's something that you feel could truly benefit your life, I'd be honored just to take 2 minutes and share about an opportunity that Emily and I have prepared for you guys to learn how to do that, whether you're already crushing goals or you're brand new. And by the way, this applies to your entire downline, not just the people on this call, everyone on your team. If you've been pushing so hard for a goal and it feels like it's getting further and further away and you don't know why it seems so easy for other people and you just keep hearing Hit Success Club and you have all these trainings showing you how to do this, but it just doesn't work for you. And you notice that some days you crush it, some days you feel stuck, and some days you just can't figure out what is stopping you from success and most importantly, happiness. I've created a course that will break you through all of it, and I mean all of it. There are hundreds of Beachbody coaches in this course right now, endorsed by the top leaders in the business. The reason you feel stuck is because you have inner conflict that needs to be resolved. I know this because I lived it. Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, lack of worth. You've heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life, but I'm talking about learning how to do that when you don't want to. This course will teach you how to be happy, how to attract success instead of repel it. And because your leader is amazing, we have arranged a massive discount on this program that applies to both the payment plan and the full pay option if you feel this is for you. So if things are tight right now, you can still make it work. And by the way, there's no pressure here. Please never mistake my enthusiasm for pressure in any way, shape, or form. If you don't feel a connection, that's okay. But I will say, whether it's through me or another personal growth expert, if you can't afford your personal growth, that's why you need to invest your money and time into your personal growth, whether it's through me or through someone else. You guys know who Jen Richardson is, by the way? 15-star diamond coach, Million Club member, 4-time elite coach. She says, and I quote, "This is the missing link that every Beachbody coach needs to finally see success in their business." You know Shay Stanford, 15-star diamond coach, Shakeology lady? This is personal growth on steroids. Every Beachbody coach needs this. Every person needs this. I can go on and on with testimonials. There are dozens of them from the top leaders in the company. The bottom line is this will get you unstuck. And it doesn't just affect your business. I'm talking your entire life. It rips away the layers of pain, preventing you from being the person that deep down you're meant to be. It's not a business training. Those courses don't work until you fix what's going on up here. And this will teach you how to finally believe in yourself, how to silence the inner demons, how to live every day with a smile on your face. It's not something where you join and I disappear. I'm there for you every step of the way, and I truly mean that. Emily can speak to my character. Guys, business and success will not bring you happiness. Happiness brings you success. And it's the only course I've ever seen that teaches you how to do that. It's 6 years of growth and thousands of dollars packed together, so you don't need to wait that long. So if you felt something real, if you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, it's time to stop believing in that. Appreciation Academy will get you unstuck. So if you'd like to learn more about this and you'd like to work together as a team, I highly encourage you to invest in Appreciation Academy. All you got to do is head to bradbizjack.com/team-call. Emily's going to share that in your team page with an image right after we hop off here. Again, that's bradbizjack.com/team-call. But anyways, Emily, I just want to say a huge thank you, and thank you to all of you guys for your time today. I know we went 5 minutes over, but it's been a privilege to serve you. And Emily, I'd love to turn it back to you to hear why you endorse personal growth and just your overall thoughts on this call. Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you so much. It's always, I feel selfish sometimes when I have you on a call because I know it's going to be good for me. But at the same time, it's not selfish because if I take care of me, I take care of others too. And if there's one thing that I've been doing since I started this business and really being on the path of personal growth is to keep investing and buy that webinar and go to that seminar and buy that training and really work harder on myself than I do on my job. And that's from Jim Rohn too, one of my top mentors. So if that resonated with you and you feel like there's something that could really unlock your true potential, I would highly recommend that you look into it seriously. And this is something that, could be the vehicle that will transform your life. So, what is it worth? You decide what price you put on it. But knowing Brad, I know this is tremendous value. So I'll be sharing everything with you on the team. And thanks again for your time and your generosity. I really appreciate you. And I hope we get to hang out in 3 dimensions eventually. All right. We have another call. I'm sorry, I'm going to break it. Jen and I have another call. But I'll get back to you, Brad, and I'll share the information on the team page very shortly. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.